Yo, good morning, gang. Hi, guys. Welcome to a very abridged brief, actually, because it's just one part of a bigger episode 5 of season 2 of Sunday School's Cool. Now, this is part 4, and you got it. It's more Bookie Daniel. Yeah, we'll get back into it. Now, this is a very brief but very important to the, hey, wait a minute, important to me, pal. I don't care who else it may or may not be important to, right? It's important to me. Now, as you recall, episode 2 was about Daniel chapter 7, right? Then we went back. In this episode, part 1 was kind of a setup. We looked at the chapter 2 and the prophecy with respect to the gold head and, the silver and then the bronze and then the iron and then the iron mixed with clay in the feet. And then that thing that like tramples everything, that kingdom. And then a rock is formed without hands and hurled at this statue, and it hits the feet. The feet is what it attacks, and then the thing gets shattered and like chaff goes, and then that rock gets bigger, fills the whole earth, and that's the kingdom. And then we see like this person, one who looks like a human, like the Son of Man, coming in the clouds to the throne room. Remember that? That was episode 2, but it also ties into the first part of this one, episode 5. Now, when I'm done and get to the end, that's when I'll make its own little, playlist just for episode 5. But you can find it in season 1 and season 2, respectively. Or I have 2 playlists, excuse me. One is everything, both seasons, and one is just season 2. And then the special editions will come in short order. Yeah. So, and then look, now I know, wait a minute. You never know. At any second, really, the hair is gonna whoosh, and this will whoosh, and I'll be like back to like dork mode. But I'm already like, wait a minute, it's kind of clean shaven, right? It's just stubble. It's not exactly 5 o'clock shadow, right? I could shave, you're right. But anyway, this is a very small part. This is the back half of chapter 9. Part 3. Right, so this episode 5, we started with that setup for additional Daniel stuff, and we went to chapter 2. Part 2 was chapter 8, as you recall, where with Gabriel, and then part 3 was the first part of chapter 9, which is the prayer. And as we know, God answers fervent prayer, and that was when Daniel prays for the people. Then I set my face towards the Lord God to make request by prayer and supplications with fasting, sackcloth, and ashes. And I prayed to the Lord my God and made confession and said, O Lord, great and awesome God, who keeps his covenant and mercy with those who love him and with those who keep his commandments. We have sinned and committed iniquity. We have done wickedly and rebelled, even by departing from your precepts and your judgments. Neither have we heeded your servants, the prophets, who spoke in your name to our kings and our princes, to our fathers, and all the people of the land. O Lord, righteousness belongs to you, but to us shame of face, as it is this day, to the men and women of Judah, to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and all Israel, those near and those far off, and all the countries to which you have driven them, because of the unfaithfulness which they have committed against you. Now, I'm just going to read, but I'll keep reading because at the end of this, it's because of this that somebody comes. And so we're just going to read to the end of chapter 10. So we probably got 4 minutes left, and then I'll go through that prophecy. Not much left. And we've already covered this bit. O Lord, to us, so this is the back half of Daniel's prayer now. O Lord, to us belongs shame of face, to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, because we have sinned against you. To the Lord our God belong mercy and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. We have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets. Yes, all Israel has transgressed your law and has departed so as not to obey your voice. Therefore, the curse and the oath written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, have been poured out on us. Because we have sinned against him, because we have sinned against God, And he has confirmed his words, and God has confirmed his words, which he spoke against us and against our judges who judged us, by bringing upon us a great disaster. For under the whole heaven, such has never been done as what has been done to Jerusalem. Because again, Nebuchadnezzar annihilated it, basically. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this disaster has come upon us, yet we have not made our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand your truth. Therefore, the Lord has kept the disaster in mind and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all the works which he does, though we have not obeyed his voice. And now, O Lord our God, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and made yourself a name as it is this day. We have sinned, we have done wickedly. He admits it. O Lord, according to all your righteousness, I pray, let your anger and your fury be turned away from your city Jerusalem, your holy mountain, because for our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and your people are a reproach to all those around us. Now therefore, our God, hear the prayer of your servant and his supplications, and for the Lord's sake, cause your face to shine on your sanctuary, which is desolate. O my God, incline your ear and hear. Open your eyes and see our desolations, and in the city which is called by your name, for we do not present our supplications before you because of our righteous deeds, but because of your great mercies. We do not present our supplications before you because we're so righteous here, but because you're merciful. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, listen and act. Do not delay for your own sake, my God, for your city and your people are called by your name. And that's how he ends the prayer. And keep in mind, this is Daniel, who's pretty upright here. He's not perfect. He's admitting he's confessing his sins as well. But I mean, he is a pretty upright guy. But he's praying on behalf of the people, including him. He admits he's part of it, and even whatever he did or didn't do, these people and we're wicked. And he's saying, for your own sake. Even God says that sometimes. I will do this for my own sake and, for my name's sake, sometimes he says, or for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. Sometimes he brings up Abraham, it's like he remembers. It's important to him. So now we're just going to read the last little bit, and this is actually the new part. This is the 70 weeks prophecy. Okay, so coming out of this prayer, O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, listen and act. Do not delay for your own sake, my God, for your city and your people are called by your name. Verse 20. Now while I was speaking, praying, and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, yes, while I was speaking in prayer, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, reached me about the time of the evening offering. Now, while I was speaking, praying, and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, yes, while I was speaking in prayer, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, reached me about the time of the evening offering. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I have now come forth to give you skill to understand. At the beginning of your supplications, the command went out, and I have come to tell you, for you are greatly beloved. Therefore, consider the matter and understand the vision. So right there, let's just figure that's the setup to this last little bit. It's not a long, whatever he's going to tell him. He said, I was told to come tell you this right as you started praying. And it's like he is, because he took one on the chin and shared in his people's, like, all the sins they're doing when he's not quite like that. But even he just acts praised as if he's one of them and says what they don't. So God causes Gabriel to fly to him swiftly just to tell him, the first words out of his mouth were that you are greatly beloved, therefore consider the matter. He's basically even telling him, oh no, you're not quite like him. But he's also telling him, because you prayed this, I'm going to tell you this prophecy. It has something to do with answering what he just prayed. It's like he's giving him the answer to the prayer. God told me to give you this information. What could it be about? Is it about the city of Jerusalem? Is it about the people? Is it about his sanctuary, his temple, whatever? Is it about, what's it going to be about? Well, let's find out. It is kind of about building the temple, isn't it? But like, it's also about something else. 77s or 70 weeks, right? The 77s prophecy. But 70 weeks, which again, may be translated 77s. Many scholars agree that sevens are years as the sevens. So it's the 77s. We write weeks in our New King James because that's the verbatim of what they had. 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublesome times. And after the 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The end of it shall be with a flood, and till the end of the war desolations are determined. Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. But in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering, and on the wing of abominations shall be one who makes desolate, even until the consummation which is determined is poured out on the desolate. That's it. And you're saying, like, what? What the hell does that mean? And, well, right, what could it mean? Well, there's certain parts that are, you just got to go through it. For whatever reason, Gabriel flies to him and gives him this word from God. He says, and he informed me, I'm going to read it one more time from verse 20 to 27. It's just 7 verses. I'll read the whole thing. Then I'm going to read a little factoid about, 490 years verbatim. And that would be about, that would lead until, after that time, Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. That has to match up with the crucifixion, my friends. And by proxy, 3 days later, the resurrection, I would argue. But now, while I was speaking, praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, yes, while I was speaking in prayer, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, reached me about the time of the evening offering. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I have now come forth to give you skill to understand At the beginning of your supplications, the command went out, and I have come to tell you, for you are greatly beloved. Therefore, consider the matter and understand the vision. 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublesome times. And after the 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The end of it shall be with a flood, and till the end of the war desolations are determined. Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. But in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abominations shall be one who makes desolate, even until the consummation which is determined is poured out on the desolate. That's it. And keep in mind, this is a crazy word. Now, I'm going to go through what I think about it, and it's just, hey, wait a minute. It's just what I think about it, right? Because it's very clear after about 69 of the weeks that he's speaking of, Messiah gets cut off, right? Right? Is it 70? Is it 60? See, I understand something about 490 years verbatim, right? But there is this bit about this final week of this other, prince. There's 2 princes here. There's the Prince of Peace, the Messiah, Moshiach, Jesus. And Daniel even probably would have savvied it because he's seen this guy by this point in that other vision with the beasts, the 4 beasts. And then there is, and he's just about to see the glorious man in the very next chapter. This leads into chapter 10, which is the final prophecy. It's chapters 10, 11, and 12. It's all one big crazy thing. And it's crazy. And it elaborates on this last 1 week. So I'm not really going to touch, halfway through the week or whatever. And then you even see, if we go back to the Daniel chapter 7, it even says something about times, and half a times. He shall speak pompous words against the Most High, shall persecute the saints of the Most High, and shall intend to change the times and laws. Then the saints shall be given into his hand for time and times and half a time. And of course, if taken the usual, that is 3.5 years, or half of 7 years, right? Or half of 1/7, or 1 week, as it is written down in the way we have it in our Bible here. Now, they know it's not 490 weeks till the temple was restored and Messiah came, because 490 weeks is you figure there's 50 weeks in a year, 52 weeks, something like that. So that's 8 or 9 years. It was not within 8 or 9 years from when, from when they set out to restore the temple from Cyrus until all that happened. It's definitely not weeks. But if you understand, there is something where there are Sabbaths, which is every 7th day you rest, the day of rest, and there are Sabbath years. Every 7th year is a Sabbath year, and the Jews were supposed to do something, return property, or if you have servants, you free them, or whatever it is. You're supposed to take it seriously, and they didn't do that. So God says, I'm going to make you pay for everyone you missed, and there was 70 of them that he was angry about. So 490 years. And again, well, what does he say? Let's just go through the one thing you can definitely glean about what he's telling him with respect to the starting time. Know and therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command, excuse me, from the, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. So that's 69 weeks or even 69 Sabbath years. So what's 69 times 70? Well, that's funny you ask. It's 483. 483 years until Messiah the Prince. He is telling him there is 483 weeks or sevens, or let's say Sabbaths, right? Out of the 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city to finish the transgression. Now, that is the crucifixion proper. So that's 490. And he's saying, until Messiah the Prince, it's almost, he's saying like there's a chunk, there's a 1 week chunk of time where, like, you know, for at least half of it, right? Jesus is around about it. So let's just go and let me go through this 70 weeks, kind of what a couple scholars say about it real quick. Just so you don't think I'm speaking on my own authority without... Now, there are scholars who've gone through this. Yeah, they're crazy. No, some of them are just quite intellectual about it. 70 weeks may also be translated 77s. Many scholars agree that sevens are years, as the 70 years of captivity addressed in verse 2 implies. Leviticus 25:8 speaks of 7 Sabbaths of years. Leviticus 26 verse 18 and 21 implies that Israel's punishment would be multiplied sevenfold. Therefore, an exile of 70 weeks would be expected to last for 7 times 70 years. Now, that's 490, and it's either 490. It's either 490 like days, or it's 490 weeks, or it's 490 years, right? It's years, I believe. It matches up the best in my opinion because, now let's go here. 2 Chronicles chapter 36 verse 21 suggests that the captivity was to last long enough to make up for the 70 omissions of the sabbatical year, which occurred every 7 years. That's true. You can find it elsewhere as well. This would amount to 490 years before God's people would experience perfect reconciliation with their God. And by God's people, I do, yes, that's so, but also, humans in general, God's people, There are many different interpretations of how these years account for the errors of world history before the second coming of Messiah. In other words, there are many different interpretations of how it's like the Harold Camping thing, where, like, I think if you carry the 6 and these, right, and the math is there, right? Meanwhile, it says, it won't be the end of the world. The humans will, repent or whatever and wind up, making peace with, it's not at all what this guy says, plus, carry the meanwhile, me, I say, I think, 70 years from, May 14th to 48, or was it 48, right? And then times and a half of times, so let's say, 3.5 years, 1290 to I forbade him. And then even then, it doesn't say we're going to die, so I'm not trying to get you to panic. I'm just saying, with this crap, it's definitely this. Camping's wrong. He's not correct, Mr. Kimmel. Well, he's wrong. You're right. The math was not there in that one. But I don't do that. I say, wait a minute, there's a separation and treason is treason. It's a state matter, baby, right? But all right. So I digress. Tangent. Harold Camping, these. That's nothing else going on. You don't know of anyone being oppressed here by crazy Christian posing people who listen to Harold Camping on the radio for your whole childhood, do you? I digress. All right. So there are many different interpretations of how these years account for the eras of world history before the second coming of the Messiah. Some interpreters have suggested that the use of the number 7 in this verse is symbolically representing completeness. That is, they'll just say anything. No, it's not that. The command to restore and build Jerusalem may be a reference to just one of three things. That's why I like study Bible. It even does the work for you. It's either the decree of Cyrus in Ezra chapter 1, the decree of Darius in Ezra chapter 6, or the decree of Artaxerxes in Ezra chapter 7, or it could be the decree of Artaxerxes in Nehemiah chapter 2. So maybe there's four options, but I think it's the same decree, one of them. But it could be four. One commonly held interpretation maintains that the 62 weeks can be added to the 7 weeks of verse for a total of 69 weeks, or 483 years. These years are added to the date of the decree of Artaxerxes in Nehemiah chapter 2, which was 445 BC, with an adjustment to allow for the use of the 360-day year. The end of the blah, blah, blah coincides with the day of the crucifixion of Jesus, blah, blah, blah. Various other interpretations of the time periods indicated by the 6 blah, 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 blah. Messiah shall be cut off, because it just says various other interpretations of the time periods indicated by the 62 weeks have been presented, including one that asserts that the Messiah in this verse refers to Cyrus, who was called the Lord's anointed, which he was. Now, Messiah shall be cut off is a reference to the crucifixion. To destroy, to kill. The phrase cut off means to destroy or to kill. The fact that Jesus died not for himself, but for the sins of the world may support the view that the Messiah in this verse refers to Jesus himself. The prince who is to come may refer to an Antichrist type figure, or son of perdition type figure, or even that horn from chapter 7 or whatever. But but again, so out of those four options, one of them is I believe Xerxes in Ezra chapter 7. So let's do that one. Let's just find it, just so I can. Wait a minute, I like this. So I'm going to put the book here. Wait a minute. No, I can keep it here. I'm just going to flip around until I find it, right? I ain't going anywhere. So if I got to go to Ezra, the quickest way to find Ezra is to find Chronicles, right? Where the heck is it? Hang on. I'm more confused. The prophet stuff's at the end of the Old Testament. Then there's apocrypha, whatever it's called. Yeah, or whatever it's called. All right, so Chronicles, Esther. Oh, wait a minute. No, I think it's Kings I need. Is it King? It's King. All right, Joshua, Samuel, Kings. Second Kings. And now, wait a minute. After Second Kings comes Chronicles. And then after Second Chronicles should come Ezra, because last time I checked, that's the order of it. Chapter 7, right? There's the decree of Darius in chapter 6, the arrival of Ezra. See, this is the one with Ezra actually in it, right? And then, let's see. What verse am I looking for here? Trying to find it. And Ezra came to, let's see here. There. Chapter 7, verse, how about we start with verse 7. Some of the children of Israel, the priests, the Levites, the singers, the gatekeepers, and the Nethinim came up to Jerusalem in the 7th year of King Xerxes. And Ezra came to Jerusalem in the 5th month, which was in the 7th year of the king. Now on the 1st day of the 1st month, he began his journey from Babylon. And on the 1st day of the 5th month, he came to Jerusalem, according to the good hand of his God upon him. For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord, and to do it, and to teach statutes and ordinances in Israel. Ezra is quietly very important to the Bible, because if not for Ezra the scribe, well, I bet God does like that guy. And again, chapter 7 starts. Now, after these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, the son of Sariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shalom, the son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Marioth, or whatever, the son of Zerahiah, the son of Uzi, the son of Buki, the son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priests. So he's a descendant of Aaron, Moses' buddy. This Ezra came up from Babylon. Now, it obviously, when it says the son of, it skips generations. It's just telling you this guy was a descendant of this one, who descended from this one, right? It's not, I mean, there's not like that few and far between, like generations of like between, if you think that. Anyway. Oh no, you can totally trace it. That 500 years difference. That thing between the time of between the time of Moses and the time of you just don't get it, do you? They worry a little too much about certain things like that. If you ask a guy like me, I'm more like the I skip that part of Matthew personally. I mean, I don't I've read it. I understand there's importance to it. Even Yah finds it you better do it, but I don't care who they're related to. But anyway, he was a descendant of Aaron, the chief priest. So verse 6, this Ezra came up from Babylon, and he was a skilled scribe in the law of Moses, which the Lord God of Israel had given. The king granted him all his requests, according to the hand of the Lord his God upon him. Some of the children of Israel, the priests, the Levites, the singers, the gatekeepers, and the Nethinim came up to Jerusalem in the 7th year of King Artaxerxes. And that year was 458 BC. Ezra and the second return of the exiles, which is covered in Ezra's chapters 7 through 10, that timetable was 458 BC. 490 years from that one, I want that one, is 32 AD, which fits very nicely with, the end of the 70 weeks, when, if we just end with the very way it is phrased to Daniel, right? We go back, we ignore Ezekiel 33 and the Watchman crap. We don't want to see it. I don't care. All right. So 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. All right? Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublesome times. And indeed, last time I checked, there was a big-ass temple that Herod built for them that was sitting there. And by the time of the last 7 years, or the last week, right, after the 69, right, that would have been during when Jesus would have actually been doing his ministry. Within that one, not even the whole time, right? And again, they had it. They had a magnificent temple. Even the Romans agree on their Arc de Triomphe, where they show how they destroyed it, right? So it was there. But then there's something about, you destroy this temple, I'll build it back in 3 days or whatever. I'll restore it and it'll come back in 3 days. He's speaking of himself because he knows what he is to the people. He's their priest. He is their Holy One, the Lamb of God, and he is their teacher, and he is their Messiah, and he is their king, and he is their brother, and he is the Son of God, and he is the angel of the Lord, whose name is in Yahweh, and Yah's name in him, and he shares a name with Jerusalem, with Yahweh or righteousness or whatever, and he's Emmanuel, and he's Moshiach, a priest according to the order of Melchizedek, and he's nice or whatever. So, like, he comes lowly and, like, to serve. He's not trying to be a big shot here. He's like, give unto Caesar, man. Who made me, like, arbitrator over you people? So, like, he even said, why do you say I'm good? God alone is good. Don't even say that about me. He was very much a stickler for the one God, all right? So, anyway, but if you really want to understand the back, like, whatever the heck this 26, 27 is, that's, like, you gotta, like, pal, there's more to Daniel. It leads right into the vision of the glorious man who explains certain things. And even then, I do know something about, in the final chapter, there's something about end times in 1290 days to, like, 1335 and the latter days prophecy verbatim. And then after that, you kind of need to go circle back around to, like, Isaiah. Then there's Jeremiah's little 2 cents in 30, I believe it's 31, or is it 33, or is it 31, or whatever, where he is even giving you his little bit, the restoration. I think it's 30, actually. The restoration of Israel and Judah, right? And it goes into 31, and he's saying all this. So he is paralleling Father God, is, I would argue, whatever he did back then with the destruction of Jerusalem, with this, like, latter days what? But make no mistake, the 77s, that is done. It's fulfilled. If you are waiting for God or even his son Jesus to do anything whatsoever wait a minute. But in the meantime, you won't lift a finger and you gotta, like, do the collusion. You gotta be banned. You're not a public. You don't want to expose the deeds of, like, we gotta go back to normal here. Even with what? Truman Show? You can't even say, like, you know what? Probably your best bet with that one is just say, yeah, we definitely did that. Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we know about that. Yeah, that was fucked up. We shouldn't have done it. It wasn't quite like that, but, like, we didn't realize. But then, like, we admit it. Wait a minute. Like, I'm not trying to get you in trouble, right? I'm trying to say they did do that. All they should do is say that, and then, like, they wouldn't have that. But see, that would lead to more questions. Well, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. That's so overtly egregious, right? That what else are you? And it's more the what else. But you know what? I'm not, like, whatever it is. We will have free speech in this country and free thought. And children's minds can't endure with you people bombarding them with wrong is right and right is wrong, and will bully you if you try to stick up for the wrong people, and just, like, fall in line and act happy. You need to be happy even as the situation is, like, horrible, and just keep your trap shut. And that's how you want to live. You really just want to bury it deep down, Luke, right? That is so wicked. That's just so sweet, cool, young, man. But that's stupid. You don't want to do that. All right. Well, God bless. And anyway, I meant to do a short one, but hey, it's Sunday school, and I gave you a part 4. There will be a part 5, and I would argue probably a 6, because I'm gonna at least take 2 to, even if I just read, but maybe not. Hey, I did all that Isaiah chunk in an hour and 10 minutes, right? 15 chapters. So this one's only 3, but, I suspect it'll be at least 1 or 2 more. Anyway, that is your lesson, and it's just really interesting, right? Mercy on Ephraim. Some point I'm going to have to read 30 and 31 and maybe even 29, right? 29 with the letter to the captives or whatever. And then there's Hananiah's falsehood and doom. I've read Jeremiah, actually. All right, well, bam, bam, bye-bye. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep.